Hello, and welcome to Book 2, Chapter 21 of You Should Be Reading. Today I'd like to talk to you about The World of Darkness Wraith, one of the novels for it, Sins of the Fathers by Sam Chupp. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to preface everything I'm about to say with the fact that this is a novel based off of and written kind of as a tie-in to a tabletop role-playing game, the Wraith, the Oblivion of World of Darkness, the classic World of Darkness. Now, that means right off the bat that it's a very tie-in books are very strange. They can be really good. They can be really bad. They can fall somewhere in the middle. They're a different sort of breed because they have to keep within the confines of the world setting as laid out by multiple core books and supplemental books and all that good stuff. And this is about Wraith. Now, Wraith the Oblivion being a tabletop game all about being dead, naturally you've got ghosts. Hence why I'm covering this one, because Halloween month, so we're going to do some horror. But this book it's actually not bad. I'm not saying it's a great book. I'm not saying it's one everybody's going to enjoy reading, or even a lot of people are going to enjoy reading, but it's something worth checking out if you are at all a fan of the World of Darkness, a fan of Wraith the Oblivion, because it kind of offers some neat perspectives in it, especially when dealing with arcanoi, pathos, angst, shadows, and all that good stuff. So I would check it out. Now, what's it about? Well, you've got a young man by the name of Kirk. He was an orphaned street punk and ended up pissing off a drug dealer who shot him, basically killed him. So he's dead and bound, not exactly bound, but he's stuck, finds himself constantly going back to a school that's one of his fetters, one of his links to the real world. However, in the afterlife, there's another man, there's another ghost there, a real rabble-rouser anarch type who's looking to cause some trouble in the area. He's got a whole bunch of people trained, like military trained, that he's got under him. This ghost happens to be Kirk's father. And there's also another ghost who's a descendant, or not a descendant, an ancestor of Kirk and his father. And that he and his bloodline, you find out, has been cursed to have this never-ending cycle of destruction. And then you find out that Kirk, before he died, ended up getting his on-again, off-again girlfriend pregnant. So he's got a son that's in the living world. So there's this whole perpetuation of nature versus nurture. Does the curse, is it fated to become this way, or can you go against your fate? And Kirk wants to protect his little boy in the living world. He wants to keep him alive, keep him safe, and as well as go against his father because he hates his father. There's a lot of this familial thing wrapped up in the story of this. There's also him finding his way because he's newly dead and he's learning things from these wraiths that he encounters. So it's very interesting in that regard. Now, is it the best written book in terms of writing? It's decent. It's not something that I had trouble struggling through to read. Usually if books are going to be very, very much very written in such a way that would give me trouble, I'm not going to recommend them here. So this one isn't, it's not a bad book in terms of writing. It's not a normal book in terms of story structure, because when it got to the end of this one, I thought to myself, that's not exactly an ending. It leaves a lot open. It's a very open-ended ending. There's there's nothing really entirely resolved by the end of it, and that can be one of the things that is a problem with these tie-in novels. But regardless of that, I'm still going to recommend it. I'm not going to read a lot of this one, just the first little bit, which kind of gives you an idea as to how things are. It's basically the ghost story that is told about our protagonist, Kurt, before you get to meet him. It's a very short little blurb at the beginning. That's all I'm going to read you. But I do recommend it for anyone who likes classic World of Darkness, anyone who likes Wraith the Oblivion. If you can find this, give it a look out. I've got a couple more books of the Wraith the Oblivion tie-in books I haven't read yet, but they're on my to-do list. Whenever I read them, if I think they're worth the time, I'll be bringing them up on this show in later sessions. But for now, I'm going to leave you with just this. Ghost Story, Chains Rattling Roof. You see, there was this guy named Kurt or Kirk or some such. He was one bad mother. He used to hang out at school, just hang out, raking the dough with his beeper and his little plastic baggies. He'd stolen a key up to the roof of the school, and he'd do his meetings there. Well, one day they came for him. No, not the cops, but the big guys, the really big guys, who didn't like him cutting into their business. No, they didn't. They poked a gun in his gut and finished him off up there, gore all over the place. They didn't find the body until a few days later, when blood from the corpse drained into an air duct and spilled out on Miss Martin, the science teacher. Pretty gross, eh? Yeah. They say you can hear Kirk's ghost up there sometimes, crying for his skank girlfriend and playing his electric guitar, and from time to time, he'll try to make you a deal. Heh, pretty cool, eh? Want to go up there? And then it goes into Kirk being dead at the school up on the roof, and him thinking about his life, and it goes on from there. It's really interestingly well done. There's a couple other ghost stories throughout the novel, just interspersed here and there, which make for neat little segues into the beginnings of chapters. I liked that particular thing about it. So yes, this week you should be reading Sins of the Fathers by Sam Chuck, a World of Darkness Wraith tie-in novel. And I'll see you next time.